Picture this. You are navigating a rain-slicked highway off-ramp. You brush your palm against a smooth piece of piano black plastic on your steering wheel, and suddenly your windshield wipers trigger, the radio blasts at maximum volume, and your lane keep assist violently jerks the vehicle toward the shoulder. You pull over, heart hammering in your chest, smelling the faint, acrid odor of melted ozone wafting directly out of the steering column. Your car is not possessed, and it is not a random glitch. It is executing a mathematically predictable failure sequence. They convinced you that cramming 50 microprocessors, haptic feedback sensors, and heated capacitive touch grids into a part you violently crank hand over hand every single day was a luxury upgrade. It isn't. It is a highly engineered wallet extraction event designed to ensure you can never fix a simple switch again. The era of the mechanical steering wheel is dead. We are going to rip apart the dashboard and expose the microscopic ribbon cable guaranteed to snap in your driveway. We will dissect the proprietary software lock that turns a cheap plastic button into a $1,000 hostage situation. And we will uncover the exact dashboard layout veteran mechanics refuse to park in their own garages. Welcome to the architecture of the digital ransom hub. But here is where the math turns hostile. Look at the showroom floor of any modern luxury or mid-tier SUV today. You will see a steering wheel completely stripped of heavy, tactile buttons, replaced instead by a smooth, glossy expanse of capacitive touch sliders and haptic feedback motors. It looks exactly like a heavy smartphone glued to the column. That sleek aesthetic hides a devastating thermodynamic nightmare. Right beneath that thin plastic veneer sits a microscopic grid of hair-thin copper wire, layered directly over the steering wheel's internal heating element. The cascade of failure starts with basic physics. You grip that will tightly during a freezing morning commute while the internal heater blasts. The copper wiring expands under the heat and contracts when the car sits in the cold parking lot. Day after day, this relentless thermal cycling fatigues the brittle microscopic solder joints securing that touch grid. Eventually, one tiny, invisible crack forms. That is all it takes to trigger the collapse. Moisture from your sweaty palms seeps directly into the microfracture, causing an immediate short circuit. You won't just lose volume control. You will experience aggressive phantom presses. The vehicle's central computer starts receiving chaotic, rapid-fire signals, randomly activating your adaptive cruise control or muting your navigation prompts while you navigate heavy traffic. You can literally feel the steering wheel vibrate with phantom haptic pulses tapping against your bare skin like a dying insect trying to escape the plastic. This brings us to the actual shakedown. You cannot just pry out the bad slider with a flathead screwdriver. The entire button cluster is cast as a single, glued-together motherboard. Replacing it drains the mid-hundreds from your checking account just to purchase the naked component, instantly wiping out your monthly budget. Any mechanic tearing into modern steering columns has a dedicated trash bin just for shattered plastic retaining clips from these brittle, over-engineered modules. You are buying a fragile computer you have to punch. Why would an automaker place the most delicate circuitry in the vehicle right where your hands sweat, grip, and grind dirt into the plastic every single day? The answer lies deep inside the steering column, buried behind the airbag. To make 50 different buttons, paddle shifters, and lane assist sensors communicate seamlessly with the engine control unit, engineers had to force a massive tidal wave of digital data through a violently spinning mechanical joint. Enter the modern, bloated clock spring assembly. In a 20-year-old truck, the clock spring handled the horn and a rudimentary airbag deployment. Now, it serves as the fragile central artery for the digital ransom hub. This is the structural trap they buried in the brochure. They packed a massive, paper-thin mylar ribbon cable inside a cheap, unsealed plastic housing directly behind the steering wheel. Every time you turn left into a parking spot, that delicate ribbon winds incredibly tight. Turn right, it unspools completely. Now add ambient dust. Add the microscopic metallic grit that flakes off the steering shaft splines over years of use. That grit works its way into the unsealed plastic housing and acts like aggressive sandpaper against the fragile ribbon cable. It eats the copper traces alive. You will hear it before it fails, a faint, dry, scraping sound right behind the plastic shroud as you turn the wheel at low speeds. Then comes the sharp, physical snap. Instantly, your dashboard lights up like an emergency vehicle. The airbag warning glares neon red into your eyes, blinding you at night. You have lost your safety restraints, your horn, and your vehicle's structural brain all in a fraction of a second. Replacing this bloated spiral cable will cost you more than a budget transmission rebuild on an older car. If you crack open a technician's personal daily driver, you will find physical, heavy-click analog buttons because we refuse to finance a dealership's new service bay. The components are engineered to be completely disposable. Look at the very top of the steering wheel rim on the newest high-end models equipped with hands-free driving suites. Notice that dark, pill-shaped cutout staring directly at your face. That is the integrated infrared emitter and eye-tracking camera module. They sold it to you as the ultimate highway relaxation tool, promising the car will monitor your attention and drive itself. But the engineering flaw is fundamentally simple, and it destroys the entire system. They embedded a delicate optical lens into the exact piece of polyurethane that bakes under magnifying windshield glass in the brutal summer sun. You don't need an engineering degree to see the scam. Ultraviolet radiation mercilessly degrades that clear plastic covering. The plastic yellows, cracks, and flakes off like dead skin onto your lap every time you grab the wheel. Once the lens clouds over from the heat damage, the infrared beam cannot read your eye movements. The car's central computer panics, assuming you are unconscious behind the wheel. You will be driving at 70 miles an hour when a violent, high-pitched alarm suddenly assaults your ears, and the car forcibly disengages the throttle, slamming you back into harsh reality. You are stuck holding a dead piece of silicon. They turned your line of sight into a subscription to their parts department. The dealership is counting on your ignorance here. When any of these steering modules die, you enter the extortion pipeline. Step 1. You order the naked replacement module online to avoid the staggering dealer markup. Step 2. You spend 4 agonizing hours wrestling the explosive airbag module out of the column. Step 3. You bolt the new wheel in, turn the ignition, and watch the dashboard instantly flash a component protection error. Step 4. You are forced onto a flatbed tow truck to pay the service bay $300 just to electronically introduce the new part to the vehicle's mainframe. The digital ransom hub operates exactly as intended. Ask yourself who profits from this exact layout. You have to strip away the liability before you sign the paperwork. Next time you are on the lot, defend yourself with this Counter-Strike checklist. Demand the absolute base model trim. Look for heavy tactile mechanical stocks. Reject any capacitive touch sliders immediately. Insist on a separate physical cruise lever. Avoid integrated infrared driver monitoring modules. Check warranties for specific electronic exclusions. That is the silent tax of modern luxury. Stop paying a premium for parts engineered to break under the heat of your own hands. We are going to keep tearing these rolling catastrophes apart and exposing the engineering crimes they hide behind premium leather stitching. If you are tired of being treated like an ATM by corporate automakers, hit subscribe and join the audit. Your steering wheel isn't a luxury upgrade. It is a thermal grenade waiting to ransom your commute.